I'd like to extend my greetings by saying to all of you, Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak. Let us all turn to page 692 in our Qur'ans. That's the introduction to Surah of Bani Israel, or the children of Israel. Commentary 128. Surah 17. So those of you who have a book, inshallah, Surah 17. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على قدم المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأجمعين. Commentary 128. It is the privilege of the men of Allah to see the sublimest mysteries of the spiritual world and instruct men in righteousness. They warn and shield men against evil. But nothing can lessen each soul's personal responsibility for its own deeds. It carries its fates round its own neck. Allah's gifts are for all, but not all receive the same gifts, nor are all gifts of equal dignity or excellence. Bani Israel, or the children of Israel. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Glory to Allah, who did take his servants for a journey by night from the sacred mosque to the furthest mosque, whose precincts we did bless, in order that we might show him some of our signs. For he is the one who heareth and seeth all things. We gave Moses the book, and made it a guide to the children of Israel, commanding, take not others than me, as disposer of your affairs. O ye that are sprung from those whom we carry in the ark with Noah, verily he was a devotee most grateful. And we gave clear warnings to the children of Israel in the book, that twice will they do mischief on the earth, and be elated with mighty arrogance, and twice will they be punished. When the first of the warnings came to pass, we sent against you, O our servants, given to terrible warfare. They entered the very inmost parts of your homes, and there was a warning completely fulfilled. Then did we grant you the return as against them. We gave you increase in resources and sons, and made you the more numerous in manpower. If you did well, ye did well for yourselves. If you did evil, you did it against yourselves. So when the second of the warnings came to pass, we permitted your enemies to disfigure your faces, and to enter your temple as they had entered it before, and to visit with destruction all that fell into their power. It may be that your Lord may yet show mercy unto you. But if you revert to your sins, we shall revert to our punishments. And we have made hell a prison for those who reject all faith. Verily this Qur'an doth guide to that which is most right or stable, and giveth the glad tidings to the believers who work deeds of righteousness, that they shall have a magnificent reward. And to those who believe not in the hereafter, it announces that we have prepared for them a penalty grievous indeed. The prayer that man should make for good, he maketh for evil, but man is given to hasty deeds. We have made the night and the day as two of our signs. The sign of the night have we obscured, while the sign of the day we have made to enlighten you, that you may seek bounty from your Lord, and that you may know the number and count of the years. All things have we explained in detail. Every man's fate we have fastened on his own neck. On the day of judgment, we shall bring up for him a scroll which he will see spread open. It will be said to him, read thine own record. Sufficient is thy soul this day to make out an account against thee. Who receiveth guidance, receiveth it for his own benefit. Who goeth astray, doth so to his own loss. No bearer of burdens can bear the burdens of another. Nor will we visit with our wrath until we have sent an apostle to give warning. When we decide to destroy a population, we first send a definite order to those among them who are given the good things of this life, and yet transgress, so that the word is proved true against them. Then it is we destroy them utterly. How many generations have we destroyed after Noah? And enough is thy Lord to note and see the sins of his servants. If any do wish for the transitory things of this life, we readily grant them such things as we will, to such persons as we will. In the end, have we provided hell for them. They will burn therein, disgraced and rejected. Those who do wish for the things of the hereafter, and strive therefore with all due striving, and have faith, they are the ones whose striving is acceptable to Allah. Of the bounties of thy Lord, we bestow freely on all, these as well as those. The bounty of thy Lord are not closed to anyone. See how we have bestowed more on some than on others, For verily the hereafter is more in rank and gradation and more in excellence. Take not with Allah another object of worship, or thou, O man, will sit in disgrace and destitution. Commentary 129. To be worthy of the service of the one true Allah, we must love and serve His creatures. The parents who cherished us in childhood deserve our humble reverence and service. Next come the rights of kinsmen, that is, those in mourning, wayfaring strangers, to each according to his need, not in spendthrift show. And gentleness is needed to those whom we cannot help. Allah will provide. He has made life sacred and pure. Fulfill your trust for orphans and deal with all in strictest probity. Pry not into evil from curiosity and shun insolence, for Allah hates evil, the one, the good, the universal Lord. Thy Lord hath decreed that ye worship none but Him, and that ye be kind to parents, whether one or both of them attain old age in thy life. Say not to them a word of contempt, nor repel them, but address them in terms of honor. And out of kindness lower to them the wing of humility, and say, My Lord, bestow on them thy mercy, even as they cherished me in childhood. Your Lord knoweth best what is in your heart. If you do deeds of righteousness, verily, He is the most forgiving to those who turn to Him again and again in true penitence. And render to the kindred their due right, as also to those in want and to the wayfarer. But squander not your wealth in the manner of a spendthrift. Verily, spendthrifts are brothers of the evil ones, and the evil one is to his Lord himself ungrateful. And even if thou hast to turn away from them in pursuit of the mercy from thy Lord which thou dost expect, you speak to them a word of ease and kindness. Make not thy hand tied like a nigger's thy neck, nor stretch it forth to its utmost reach, so that thou become blameworthy and destitute. Verily, thy Lord doth provide sustenance in abundance for whom He pleaseth, and He provideth in a just measure, for He doth know and regard all servants. Kill not your children for fear of want. We shall provide sustenance for them as well as for you. Verily, the killing of them is a great sin. Nor come not nigh to adultery, for it is a shameful deed, and an evil opening to the road to other evils. Nor take life, which Allah has made sacred, except for just cause. And if anyone is slain wrongfully, we have given his heirs authority to demand qisas, or to forgive. But let him not exceed bounds in the matter of taking life, for he is helped by the law. Come not nigh to the orphan's property except to improve it, until he attains the age of full strength, and fulfill every engagement. For every engagement will be inquired into on the day of reckoning. Give full measure when you measure, and weigh with a balance that is straight. That is the most fitting and the most advantageous in the final determination. And pursue not that of which thou hast no knowledge. For every act of hearing or of seeing or of feeling in the heart will be inquired into on the day of reckoning. Nor walk on the earth with insolence, for thou canst not rend the earth asunder, nor reach the mountains in height. Of all such things the evil is hateful in the sight of thy Lord. These are among the precepts of wisdom which thy Lord has revealed to thee. Take not with Allah another object of worship, lest thou should be thrown into hell blameworthy and rejected. Has then your Lord, O pagans, preferred for you sons, and taken for himself daughters among the angels? Truly, you are a most dreadful saying. Commentary 130. There is none like unto Allah. Exalted beyond measure is He. All creation declares His glory. His revelation is truth, but is beyond comprehension to those who believe not in the hereafter. Those who serve Him should beware lest words unseemly should escape them, whether to friend or foe. Avoid dissensions, and know that Allah's wrath, when kindled, is a terrible thing. But we rejoice that He forbears and forgives. We have explained things in various ways in this Qur'an, in order that they may receive admonition, but it only increases their flight from the truth. Say, if there had been other gods with them, as they say, behold, they would certainly have sought out a way to the Lord of the throne. Glory to Him. He is high above all that they say, exalted and great beyond measure. The seven heavens and the earth, and all beings therein declare His glory. There is not a thing but celebrate His praise, and yet ye understand not how they declare His glory. Verily, he is oft forbearing, most forgiving. When thou dost recite the Qur'an, we put between thee and those who believe not in the hereafter a veil invisible. And we put coverings over their hearts and minds that they should understand the Qur'an, and deafness into their ears. When thou dost commemorate thy Lord and him alone in the Qur'an, they turn on their backs, fleeing from the truth. We know best why it is they listen when they listen to thee. And when they meet in private conferences, behold, the wicked say, he followed none other than a man bewitched. See what similes they strike for thee? For they have gone astray, and never can they find a way. They say, what? When we are reduced to bones and dust, should we really be raised up to be a new creation? Say, nay, be stones or iron, or created matter, which in your minds is hardest to be raised up. Yet shall ye be raised up. Then when they say, who will cause us to return? Say, he who created you first. Then will they wag their heads towards thee and say, when will that be? Say, maybe it will be quite soon. It will be on a day when he will call you, and ye will answer his call with words of his praise, and ye will think that ye tarried but a little while. Say to my servants that they should only say those things that are best. For Shaitan doth sow dissensions among them. For Shaitan is to man an avowed enemy. It is your Lord that knoweth you best. If he please, he granteth you mercy. Or if he please, punishment. We have not sent thee to be a disposer of their affairs for them. It is your Lord that knoweth best all beings that are in heaven and on earth. We did bestow on some prophets more and other gifts than on others. And we gave to Daud the gift of the Psalms. Say, call on those besides him whom you fancy. They have neither the power to remove your troubles from you, nor to change them. Those whom they call upon do desire for themselves means of access to their Lord, even those who are nearest. They hope for his mercy and fear his wrath. For the wrath of thy Lord is something to take heed of. There is not a population, but we shall destroy it before the day of judgment, or punish it with a dreadful penalty. That is written in the eternal record. And we refrain from sending the signs only because the men of former generations treated them as false. We sent the she-camel to the Talmud to open their eyes, but they treated her wrongfully. We only send the signs by way of terror and warning from evil. Behold, we told thee that thy Lord doth encompass mankind round about. We granted the vision which we showed thee, but as a trial for men, as also the cursed tree mentioned in the Qur'an. We put terror and warning into them, but it only increased their inordinate transgression. Commentary 131. Arrogance, jealousy, spite, and hatred were the cause of the fall of Iblis. Man was given preeminence above much of Allah's creation and owes higher responsibilities. He should give thanks for Allah's mercies and remember the day of account. Not all the scheming of evil will deflect Allah's righteous plan to protect his chosen ones. They should pray without ceasing and seek his true guidance, for truth will last, but falsehood will perish. Behold, we said to the angels, bow down unto Adam. They bowed down except Iblis. He said, shall I bow down to one whom thou createdst from clay? He said, seest thou, this is the one whom thou hast honored above me? If thou wilt but respite me to the day of judgment, I will surely bring his descendants under my sway, all but a few. Allah said, go thy way, and if any of them follow thee, verily hell will be the recompense of you all, an ample recompense. Lead to destruction those whom thou canst among them, with thy seductive voice. Make assaults on them with thy cavalry and thy infantry. Mutually share with them wealth and children, and make promises to them. But Shaitan promises them nothing but deceit. And as my servants, no authority shalt thou have over them. And up is thy Lord for a disposal of affairs. Your Lord is he that maketh the ships go smoothly for you through the sea, in order that ye may seek of his bounty, for he is unto you most merciful. And when distress seizes you at sea, those that ye call upon besides himself leave you in the lurch. But when he brings you back safe to land, ye return away from him. Most ungrateful is man. Do you then feel secure that he will not cause you to be swallowed up beneath the earth when ye are on land, or that he will not send against you a violent tornado with showers of stones, so that you find no one to carry out your affairs for you? Or do you feel secure that he will not send you back to a second time, to see and send against you a heavy gale to drown you because of your ingratitude, so that you find no helpers therein against us? And we have honored the sons of Adam, provided them with transport on land and sea, given them for sustenance things good and pure, and conferred on them special favors above a great part of our creation. One day, we shall call together all human beings with their respective imams. Those who are given their records in their right hand will read it with pleasure, and they will not be dealt with unjustly in the least. For those who are blind in this world will be blind in the hereafter, and most astray from the path. And their purpose was to tempt thee away from that which we have revealed unto thee, to substitute in our name something quite different. In that case, behold, they would certainly have made thee their friend. And had we not given thee strength, thou wouldst nearly have inclined to them a little. In that case, we should have made thee take the equal portion of punishment in this life, and an equal portion in death. And moreover, thou wouldst have found none to help them against thee. Their purpose was to scare thee off the land, in order to expel thee. But in that case, they would not have stayed there after thee, except for a little while. This was our way with the apostles we sent before thee. Thou wilt find no change in our ways. Establish regular prayers at the sun's decline, till the darkness of the night, in the morning prayer and reading. For the prayer and reading in the morning carry their testimony. And pray in the small watches of the morning. It will be an additional prayer or spiritual profit for thee. Soon will thy Lord raise thee to a station of praise and glory. Say, O my Lord, let my entry be by the gate of truth and honor, and likewise my exit by the gate of truth and honor. And grant me from thy presence and authority to aid me. And say, truth is now arrived and falsehood perish, for falsehood is by its nature bound to perish. We send down stage by stage in the Qur'an that which is a healing and a mercy to those who believe. To the unjust, it causes nothing but loss after loss. Yet when we bestow our favors on man, he turns away and becomes remote on his side instead of coming to us. And when evil seizes him, he gives himself up to despair. Say, everyone acts according to his own disposition, but your Lord knows best who it is that is best guided on the way. Commentary 132. Who can define the spirit of inspiration? Its gifts is the highest of Allah's mercies to man. The Qur'an is divine, and no carpings can affect its greatness or the greatness of the messenger who brought it to men. Those who reject it will be called to account on the day of judgment. Let not pride and ignorance rush like Pharaoh to the punishment of the hereafter. The Qur'an, as revealed by stages, teaches the truth. Learn it and chant it and praise the beautiful names of Allah forever. And they ask thee concerning the spirit of inspiration, say, the spirit cometh by command of my Lord. Of knowledge it is only a little that is communicated to you, O man. If it were our will, we could take away that which we have sent thee by inspiration. Then wilt thou find none to plead thy affair in the matter as against us, except for mercy from thy Lord. For his bounty is to thee indeed great. Say, if the whole of mankind and jinns were to gather together to produce a like of this Qur'an, they could not produce a like thereof, even if they backed up each other with help and support. And we have explained to man in this Qur'an every kind of similitude, yet the greater part of men refuse to receive it except with ingratitude. They say, we shall not believe in thee until thou cause a spring to gush forth for us from the earth, or until thou have a garden of date trees and vines, and cause rivers to gush forth in their midst carrying abundant water. Or thou cause the sky to fall in pieces, and thou say that it will happen against us. Or thou bring Allah and the angels before us face to face. Or thou have a house adorned with gold. Or thou mount up a ladder right into the sky. No, we shall not even believe in thy mountain until thou send down to us a book that we could read. Say, glory to my Lord. Am I aught but a man, an apostle? What kept men back from belief when guidance came to them was nothing but this. They said, has Allah sent a man like us to be his apostle? Say, if there were settled on earth angels walking about in peace and quiet, we should certainly have sent them down from the heavens an angel for an apostle. Say, enough is Allah for a witness between me and you, for he is well acquainted with his servants, and he sees all things. It is he whom Allah guides that is on true guidance, but he whom he leads astray, For such will thou find no protector besides him. On the day of judgment, we shall gather them together, prone on their faces, blind, dumb, and deaf. Their abode will be hell. And every time it shows abatement, we shall increase for them the fierceness of the fire. That is their recompense, because they rejected our sign and said, when we are reduced to bones and broken dust, should we really be raised to be a new creation? See they not that Allah who created the heavens and the earth has power to create the like of them anew? Only He has decreed a term appointed, of which there is no doubt, but the unjust refuse to receive it except with ingratitude. Say, if you had control of the treasure of the mercy of my Lord, behold, you would keep them back for fear of spending them, for man is ever niggardly. To Moses we did give 9 clear signs. Ask the children of Israel when he came to them. Pharaoh said to him, O Moses, I consider thee indeed to have been worked upon by sorcery. Moses said, Thou knowest well that these things have been sent down by none but the Lord of the heavens and the earth as an eye-opening evidence. And I consider thee indeed, O Pharaoh, to be one doomed to destruction. So he resolved to remove them from the face of the earth. But we did drown him and all who were with him. And we said thereafter to the children of Israel, Dwell securely in the land of promise. But when the second of the warnings came to pass, we gathered you together in a mingled crowd. We sent down the Qur'an in truth, and in truth has it descended. And we sent thee but to give glad tidings and to warn sinners. It is a Qur'an which we have divided into parts from time to time, in order that thou mightest recite it to men at intervals. We have revealed it by stages. Say, whether you believe in it or not, it is true that those who were given knowledge beforehand, when it is recited to them, fall down on their faces in humble prostration. And they say, Glory to our Lord. Truly has the promise of our Lord been fulfilled. They fall down on their faces in tears, and it increases their earnest humility. That's a sister. Say, call upon Allah, or call upon Rahman, or whatever name you call upon him, it is well, for to him belong the most beautiful names. Neither speak thy prayer aloud, nor speak it in a low tone, but seek a middle course between. Say, praise be to Allah, who begets no sons and has no partners in his dominion, nor needs he any to protect him from humiliation. They magnify him for his greatness and glory. Commentary 133. Introduction to Surah Al-Kahf. The book of Revelation gives straight directions to make our lives straight, to warn us against evil and guide to the good everlasting. Teach the truth, but fret not about men rejecting it. The parable of the companions of the cave show how Allah works wonders beyond our fathoming, how faith is a sure refuge in ways we know not, how time itself works Allah's plan before we know how it passes, how he can give us rest and raise us back to life against all odds, and how futile it is to engage in controversies about matters we know not. That's what everybody does. Wow. Kahf, or the cave, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Praise be to Allah, who hath sent to his servants the book, and hath allowed therein no crookedness. He hath made it straight and clear in order that he may warn the godless of a terrible punishment from him, and that he may give glad tidings to the believers who work righteous deeds, that they shall have a goodly reward, wherein they shall remain forever. Further, that he may warn those also who say, Allah hath begotten a son. No knowledge had they of such a thing, nor had their fathers. It is a grievous thing that issues from their mouths as a saying, what they say is nothing but falsehood. Thou wilt only perchance fret thyself to death, following after them in grief, and if they believe not in this message, that which is on earth we have made but as a glittering show for the earth, in order that we may test them as to which of them are best in conduct. Verily, what is on earth, we shall make but as of dust and dry soil, without growth or herbage. Or dost thou reflect that the companions of the cave and of the scripture were wonders among our signs? Behold, the youths took themselves to the cave. They said, Our Lord, bestow on us mercy from thyself, and dispose of our affair for us in the right way. Then we drew a veil over their ears for a number of years in the cave, so that they heard not. Then we roused them in order to test which of the two parties was best at calculating the term of years they had tarried. And we relate to thee their story in truth. They were youths who believed in their Lord, and we advanced them in guidance. We gave strength to their hearts. Behold, they stood up and said, Our Lord is the Lord of the heavens and of the earth. Never shall we call upon any God other than him. If we did, we should indeed have uttered an enormity. These our people have taken for worship gods other than him. Why do they not bring forward an authority clear and convincing for what they do? Who does more wrong than such as invent a falsehood against Allah? So when you turn away from them and the things they worship other than Allah, betake yourselves to the cave. Your Lord will shower his mercies on you and dispose of your affairs towards comfort and ease. Thou would have seen the sun when it rose declining to the right from their cave, and when it set, turning away from them to the left, while they lay in the open space in the midst of the cave. Such are among the signs of Allah. He whom Allah guides is rightly guided, but he whom Allah leads to stray, for him wilt thou find no protector to lead to the right way. Thou wouldst have deemed them awake while they were asleep, and we turned them on their right and on their left side, their dog stretching forth his two forelegs on the threshold. If thou hadst come upon them, thou wouldst have certainly turned back from them in flight, and would certainly have been filled with terror of them. Such being their state, we raised them up from sleep, that they might question each other. Said one of them, How long have we stayed here? They said, We stayed perhaps a day or part of a day. And then they all said, Allah alone knows best how long we stayed here. Now send ye then one of you with the money of yours to the town. And let them find out which is the best food to be had, and bring some to you, that ye may satisfy hunger herewith, and let them behave with care and courtesy, and let them not inform anyone about you. For if they should come upon you, they would stone you or force you to return to their coat, and in that case ye would never obtain prosperity. Thus did we make their case known to the people, that they might know that the promise of Allah is true, and that there can be no doubt about the hour of judgment. Behold, they dispute among themselves as to their affairs. Some said, Construct a building over them. Their Lord knows best about them. Those who prevailed over their affairs said, Let us surely build a place of worship over them. Some say that they were 3, the dog being the 4th among them. Others say they were 5, the dog being the 6th, doubtfully guessing at the unknown. Yet others say they were 7, the dog being the 8th. Say thou, My Lord knoweth best their number. It is but few that know their real case. Enter not therefore into controversies concerning them, except on matters that is clear, nor console any of them about the affairs of the sleepers. Commentary 134. True knowledge is with Allah alone. We are not to dispute on matters of conjecture, but to rely on the truth that comes from Allah. As in the parable, the man who piles up wealth and is puffed up with this world's good, despising those otherwise endowed, will come to an evil end, for his hopes were not built on Allah. Nor say of anything, I shall be sure to do so and so tomorrow, without adding, so please Allah. And call thy Lord to mind when thou forgettest, and say, I hope that my Lord will guide me ever close, even than this to the right road. So they stayed in their cave 300 years, and some add 9 more. Say, Allah knows best how long they stayed. With him is the knowledge of the secrets of the heavens and the earth. How clearly he sees, how finely he hears everything. They have no protector other than him, nor does he share his command with any person whatsoever. And recite and teach what has been revealed to thee of the book of thy Lord. None can change his words, and none wilt thou find as a refuge other than him. And keep thy soul content with those who call on their Lord morning and evening, seeking his face. And let not thine eyes pass beyond them, seeking the pomp and glitter of this life, nor obey any whose heart we have permitted to neglect the remembrance of us, one who follows his own desires, whose case has gone beyond all bounds. Say, the truth is from your Lord. Let him who will believe, and let him who will reject it. For the wrongdoers we have prepared a fire whose smoke and flames like the wall and roof of a tent will hem them in. If they implore relief, they will be granted water like melted brass that will scald their faces. How dreadful the drink! How uncomfortable a couch to recline on! But as to those who believe and work righteousness, verily we shall not suffer to perish the reward of any who do a single righteous deed. For them will be gardens of eternity. Beneath them rivers will flow. They will be adorned therein with bracelets of gold, and they will wear green garments of fine silk and heavy brocade. They will recline therein on thrones, on raised thrones. How good the recompense! How beautiful a couch to recline on! Set forth to them the parable of two men. For one of them we provided 2 gardens of grapevines and surrounded them with date palms. In between the two we placed cornfields. Each of those gardens brought forth its produce and fell not in the least therein. In the midst of them we caused the river to flow. Abundant was the produce this man had. He said to his companion in the course of a mutual argument, more wealth have I than you, and more honor and power in my following of men. He went into his garden in a state of mind unjust to his soul. He said, I deem not that this will ever perish, nor do I deem that the hour of judgment will ever come. Even if I am brought back to my Lord, I shall surely find there something better in exchange. His companion said to him in the course of the argument with him, Dost thou deny him who created thee out of dust, then out of a sperm drop, then fashioned thee into a man? But I think for my part that he is Allah, my Lord, and none shall I associate with my Lord. Why didst thou not, as thou went into thy garden, say, Allah's will be done? There is no power but with Allah. If thou dost see me less than thee in wealth and sons, it may be that my Lord will give me something better than thy garden, and that he will send on thy garden thunderbolts by way of reckoning from heaven, making it but slippery sand. Or the water of the garden will run off underground, so that thou wilt never be able to find it. So his fruits and enjoyments were encompassed with ruin, and he remained twisting and turning his hands over what he had spent on his property, which had now tumbled to pieces to its very foundations. And he could only say, Woe is me! Would I had never ascribed partners to my Lord and cherisher, nor had he numbers to help him against Allah, nor was he able to deliver himself. There, the only protection comes from Allah, the true one. He is the best to reward and the best to give success. Commentary 135. The life of this world is ephemeral and its gains will not last. Good deeds are the best of possessions in Allah's sight. All will be leveled up on the day of judgment, and a new order created on the basis of truth according to the book of deeds. Pride is the root of evil, rebellion, and wrong. Who will choose evil ones in preference to Allah? Let us accept truth, for though falsehood may flourish for a time, it must perish in the end. Set forth to them the similitude of the life of this world. It is like the rain which we send down from the skies. The earth's vegetation absorbs it, but soon it becomes dry stubble which the wind do scatter. It is only Allah who prevails over all things. Wealth and sons are allurements of the life of this world, but the things that endure, that is good deeds, are best in the sight of thy Lord, as rewards, and best as the foundation for hopes. One day we shall remove the mountains, and thou wilt see the earth as a level stretch, and we shall gather them all together, nor shall we leave out any one of them. And they will be marshaled before thy Lord in ranks with the announcements. Now have you come to us bare as we created you first? Hey, you thought we shall not fulfill the appointment made to you to meet us? And the book of deeds will be placed before you, and thou wilt see the sinful in great terror because of what is recorded therein. And they will say, woe to us! What a book is this! It leaves out nothing small or great, but takes account thereof. They will find all that they did placed before them, and not one will thy Lord treat with injustice. Behold, we said to the angels, bow down to Adam. They bowed down except Iblis. He was one of the jinns, and he broke the command of his Lord. Will ye then take him and his progeny as protectors rather than me? And they are enemies to you. Evil will be the exchange for the wrongdoers. I call them not to witness the creation of the heaven and the earth, nor even their own creation, nor is it for me to take as helpers such as lead men astray. One day he will say, call on those whom you thought to be my partners, and they will call on them, but they will not listen to them. And we shall make for them a place of common perdition. And the sinful shall see the fire and apprehend that they have to fall therein. No means will they find to turn away therefrom. Now we have explained in detail in this Qur'an for the benefit of mankind every kind of similitude. But man is in most things contentious. Now what is there to keep back men from believing now that guidance has come to them, nor from praying for forgiveness from thy Lord, but that they ask that the ways of the ancients be repeated with them, or the wrath be brought to them face to face? We only send the apostles to give glad tidings and to give warnings. But the unbelievers dispute with vain argument in order that would weaken the truth. And they treat my signs as a jest, as also the fact that they are warned. And who does more wrong than one who is reminded of the signs of his Lord but turns away from them, forgetting the deeds which his hands have sent forth? Verily, we have set veils over their hearts, lest they should understand this, and over their ears deafness. And thou callest them to guidance, even then will they never accept guidance. But your Lord is most forgiving, full of mercy, that he were to call them at once to account for what they have earned, and surely he would have hastened their punishment. For they have their appointment time, beyond which they will find no refuge. Such were the populations we destroyed when they committed iniquities, but we fixed an appointed time for their destruction. Commentary 136. Moses was up against mysteries which he wanted to explore. He searched out a man endued with knowledge derived from the divine springs from which flow the paradoxes of life. He has shown three such paradoxes and how human impatience is inconsistent with their true understanding. The highest knowledge comes not except by divine gift and a constant, patient striving with faith to apprehend something of the purpose of the all-wise Allah. Behold, Moses said to his attendant, I will not give up until I reach the junction of the two seas, or until I spend years and years in travel. But when they reached the junction, they forgot about their fish, which took its course through the sea, straight as in a tunnel. When they had passed on some distance, Moses said to his attendant, bring us our early meal. Truly, we have suffered much fatigue at this stage of our journey. He replied, Saw thou what happened when we took ourselves to the rock? I did indeed forget about the fish. None but Shaitan made me forget to tell you about it. It took its course through the sea in a marvelous way. Moses said, that was what we were seeking after. So they went back on their footsteps, following the path they had come. So they found one of our servants, on whom we had bestowed mercy from ourselves, and whom we had taught knowledge from our own presence. Moses said to him, May I follow thee on the footing that thou teach me something of higher truth which thou hast been taught? The other said, Verily, thou wilt not be able to have patience with me. And how canst thou have patience about things about which thy understanding is not complete? Moses said, Thou wilt find, if Allah so will, me truly patient, nor shall I disobey thee in aught. The other said, If then thou follow me, ask me no questions about anything that I myself speak to thee concerning it. So they both proceeded until when they were in the boat, he scullered it. Moses said, Hast thou scullered it in order to drown those in it? Truly, a strange thing hast thou done. He answered, Did I not tell thee that thou canst have no patience with me? Moses said, Rebuke me not for forgetting, nor grieve me by raising difficulties in my case. Then they proceeded until when they met a young man, he slew him. Moses said, Hast thou slain an innocent person who had slain none? Truly, a foul, unheard of thing hast thou done. 100. So we'll commence on tomorrow with the story of Moses and Khidr. Khidr, inshallah. You don't mention his name in the Qur'an, but if you go to the Sunnah, that's what his name is, inshallah. So tonight, we ask brothers and sisters that you give sadaqah, inshallah. Those of you online, try as much as you can to give on a night by night basis. And alhamdulillah, there are many people who are outside giving, and we want to appreciate those people who give to the masjid on behalf of themselves and behalf of the masjid. We appreciate that. So again, go to FirstCleveland.org, PayPal. Yeah, you can do that. You can pay through Cash App, $FirstCleveland. That's the site. Or you can go to Zelle, FirstClevelandMods131@gmail.com. Or you can go to First Cleveland Mods, 3613 East 131st Street, Cleveland, Ohio, 44120. Or you can just come into the mosque and pay. A reminder to all of you that your annual zakat is due prior to the end of Ramadan, and that sets up 2.5% of your net earnings. So I have a calculation sheet for you to figure that out, and strive as much as you can to always please Allah in terms of your annual zakat. Also, your zakat fitr charities also will be due the morning of before the morning of the Salat of Eid. So all those things are taken care of, which I think we're collecting $10 per person in their families. Each family has to pay $10 per person per family. So inshallah, may Allah make it easy for you, inshallah. With that being said, we're going to dismiss. I think our Salat is right now. Our fast is breaking 7:56. May Allah bless you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal asr inna al-insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihati wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters.
Wa alaikum assalam.